making headlines. The Homeland Security Minister reveals that a Malaysian company expressed interest to establish and operate a drug rehabilitation center in the Maldives. The Tourism Minister announces strategic decisions to expedite the development of abandoned islands leased for resort development. And the Met Office forecasts heavy rain showers across most parts of the Maldives through Monday.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSMNEWS in English with me, Mariam Shawshat. Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ali Hussan reveals that a Malaysian company has expressed interest to establish and operate a drug rehabilitation center in the Maldives. Speaking in an exclusive interview to PSMNEWS, Minister Hussan stated that Malaysian company which expressed interest to establish and manage a drug rehabilitation center in Maldives is a multinational company which operates several rehabilitation facilities worldwide. The minister disclosed the company had submitted a proposal expressing interest in the development and operation of a rehabilitation center, adding that the proposal was submitted at a substantial expense. He revealed that efforts are underway to hold discussions on the proposal and to review other options that ensure the provision of rehabilitation services. The government opened opportunities for private firms to establish and operate rehabilitation centers for drug addicts in January. The opportunity was in accordance to the Drug Act. Minister Hussan expressed confidence that the opportunities given to private firms would increase competitiveness in providing efficient and quality services, therefore providing mutual benefits. The minister hopes that private enterprises will commence offering services in the nation in the near future. Rehabilitation centers established under the opportunity given by the National Drug Agency (NDA) are to provide a wide range of services to provide treatment to drug addicts. This includes outpatient detoxification services, psychiatric evaluation, counseling services, psychosocial therapy, drug testing, and psychological assessments. Minister of Tourism Ibrahim Faisal announces strategic decisions to expedite the development of abandoned islands leased for resort development. In an exclusive interview with PSMNEWS, Minister Faisal revealed that the Economic Council has approved two key measures from a proposal aimed at accelerating the development of these islands. One approved measure involves reclaiming the islands that have seen no development activity, returning them to the state without any conditions. The Tourism Ministry will collaborate with the Ministry of Finance and the Maldives Inland Revenue Authority (MIRA) to negotiate concessions on the substantial fees owed by lessees to the state. The second measure focuses on finding solutions for islands where development has stalled due to various issues. The Tourism Ministry will assist in securing the necessary funds or facilitate the sale of these islands to new developers. The Tourism Minister emphasized that accelerating the development of these islands will require legal adjustments. He noted that the state incurs significant financial losses when leased islands remain undeveloped. According to the ministry's statistics, there are 63 islands leased for resort development that have yet to be developed. Some of these islands have been leased for over 30 years. The minister also highlighted that more islands will be developed and opened as resorts during this tenure. He projected that 12 to 15 new resorts will be opened over the next 5 years. Managing Director of Regional Airports Company Limited (RACL) Ahmad Mubin states the ongoing development of Hanimado International Airport is expected to be completed by March 2025. The Managing Director also announced that the development of the new runway in the airport is fully completed and will be open for operations on June 23rd. The airport development projects includes the development of a 2.46 kilometers runway to enable large aircraft such as Airbus A320s and Boeing 737s to land at the airport. The initiative is directly interconnected with tourism within the region and the economy of the atoll. The project undertaken for the redevelopment of the airport was launched in January this year. The first initiative taken was to establish a new runway of 2,465 meters. Due to the land constraints encountered in both the new runway and the previous runway, a total of 1,200 meters of the new runway was put in operation on January 28th this year, subsequent to the completion subsequent of the completion of the initial phase. While the works of the remaining 1,200 meters are completed, efforts are underway to prepare the runway for flight operations. Speaking on a program aired on PSM News, Mubin stated that all the final preparations are ongoing to officially put the airport into operations. Upon completion of the development, the airport will have the capability to cater services to 1.5 million passengers annually and will operate 24 hours. Mubin additionally disclosed all the practical works of the airport development project will be completed by the year end. Furthermore, he highlighted the collaborative efforts of various agencies to complete necessary tasks prior to the completion of the developmental project. RSEL acknowledged the government's dedication and commitment to initiate the second phase of the airport development project upon completion of the first phase of the project. With the development of the seaplane terminal under the second phase, tourists will be able to travel to the resorts directly from Hanimadu. Maldives Police Service MPS reports that a group of individuals from Somalia have drifted to an uninhabited island in Nunu Atoll. MPS disclosed that the 3 Somalian men drifted to Vavati Nunu Atoll earlier today. Vavati is an uninhabited island which is primarily utilized for agricultural purposes, which is situated near Vela Private Island Resort. The police confirmed that the 3 individuals are currently in custody and investigations into the matter are ongoing. Incidents involving groups of Somalian individuals drifting to the Maldives have previously occurred as well. Somalia, which is situated in East Africa, has a coastline known for its hazards, including numerous incidents of piracy. Maldives Inland Revenue Authority (MIRA) indicates a significant increase in green tax revenue from guest houses compared to 2023. According to MIRA's 2023's annual report, $408,650 was collected as green tax from guest houses, marking a notable increase from the $246,433 collected in 2022. This represents a substantial rise of 66.1%. Guest houses contribute 4% of the total green tax revenue. Green tax is imposed on tourists visiting the Maldives to support environmentally friendly initiatives and is levied on resorts, guest houses, hotels, safaris and tourists themselves. While the revenue obtained through green tax have increased significantly, hotels in residential areas and tourist guest houses with more than 50 rooms are being charged $6 per day since January 1st last year. Meanwhile, hotels in residential areas and tourist guest houses with 50 rooms or fewer are required to pay a green tax of $3 per day. Majority of green tax revenue attained by the government, totaling $3 million last year, predominantly comes from resorts, constituting 91.5% of the total revenue generated. Maldives Meteorological Service Met Office forecasts heavy rain showers across most parts of the Maldives through Monday. Central and northern atolls are expected to experience significant rainfall and rough seas, while islands in the southern atolls will mostly enjoy fine weather with scattered showers and generally slight seas. In response to the adverse weather conditions, Met Office has issued several alerts, including a recent one for heavy rain and thunderstorms from Ha Alif Atoll to Ba Atoll. The forecast predicts strong winds ranging from 19 to 24 miles per hour, with gusts reaching up to 50 miles per hour, resulting in rough sea conditions. Over the past 24 hours, the Maldives has seen heavy rainfall, with Gafaro Island in Kafu Atoll recording the highest amount at 67.6 millimeters. Goedo in Ba Atoll also experienced significant rainfall, recording 49.4 millimeters. Met Office advises seafarers in the central and northern atolls to exercise caution due to the severe weather conditions. For the next 3 days, strong winds of 12 to 22 miles per hour with gusts up to 50 miles per hour are predicted across the country. Showers are expected to subside by Monday, but strong winds are likely to continue into Tuesday and Wednesday. In the Pampas, Argentina's vast and fertile grasslands outside Buenos Aires, grain silos overflow with this year's harvest, but nobody is selling just yet.
Though the country's farmers largely gave their votes to President Javier Milei in the November election, they now want him to deliver on promises to slash taxes and ease exchange rate controls. After the country's worst drought in a century saw agricultural exports plummet, leading to a shortfall of $20 billion in revenue, the industry is expecting an excellent harvest this year. The latest estimate from the Rosario Board of Trade indicates that the grain harvest could yield 131.1 million tons, a sharp rise from the 82.2 million tons gathered in the previous year. But farmers say that low global prices and the delay in freeing up the exchange rate at which producers can sell their goods abroad have complicated the seemingly good news. Agriculture is a major part of Argentina's economy, accounting for 55% of the country's export. It is among the world's largest food producers, ranking third in soybeans behind only Brazil and the US. Argentina usually sells about 70% of its agro-industrial production, while the rest goes into storage. Agricultural exports are estimated at $29.3 billion this year, falling short of the average $32 billion a year over the past 5 years. The combination of increased production and unfavorable economic conditions has left Argentina's fields dotted with silo bags, basically tons of harvested soybeans and grains wrapped in plastic. The Rosario Board of Trade estimates that there are some 35.6 million tons of unsold grains in the country, valued at almost $10.6 billion. Despite Milei's campaign promises, he raised taxes on exports of soybean meal and oil from 31 to 33% upon taking office. Taxes also increased on fuel. Reforms to exchange rate controls have not been forthcoming and no timeline has been set. Inflation, though trending down, was still at 276.4% in May year-on-year. Exporters get a preferential rate, but still far less than the value of the peso on the parallel informal market, which is the rate producers use to pay for farming supplies.
Searing heatwave temperatures in northern India pushes power demand to a record high, the government says, with residents of the capital, New Delhi, also struggling with water shortages.
Much of northern India has been gripped by a brutal month-long heatwave, with temperatures regularly soaring above 45 degrees Celsius. The Ministry of Power said in a statement that northern India has been experiencing high demand conditions due to a prevailing heat wave since May 17th, adding it has been forced to import 25 to 30% more power from neighbouring regions. India is no stranger to scorching summer temperatures, but years of scientific research have found climate change is causing heat waves to become longer, more frequent and more intense. India is the world's third biggest emitter of greenhouse gases, but has committed to achieve a net zero emissions economy by 2070, 2 decades after most of the industrialized West. For now, it is overwhelmingly reliant on coal for power generation. Authorities have avoided widespread blackouts, but there have been multiple localized power outages when supply equipment faltered in the intense heat. The ministry said it ordered power companies to maintain a high stand of alert and minimize forced outages of equipment. People across Delhi, a sprawling megacity with an estimated population of more than 30 million residents, have been forced to rely on water tankers to meet demand. The authorities have reduced supply to cope with demand, expanding this week to the city's heart in New Delhi, the base of government officers and the homes of top political leaders. The India Meteorological Department, the National Weather Bureau, warned that heat wave to severe heat wave conditions are likely to continue before gradually easing. It has repeatedly warned people of the very high likelihood of developing heat illness and heat stroke in all ages, with extreme care needed for vulnerable people. Temperatures are expected to fall as the annual monsoon rains move north this month.
Palestinians mourn their dead following Israeli strikes on Al-Mawasi area of Gaza's Rafah, in which at least 25 people were killed and several were wounded, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health.
Mourners gather in Khan Yunis to bid farewell to their loved ones as they laid them to rest. The Gaza Health Ministry said at least 25 Palestinians had been killed in Mawasi in western Rafah and 50 wounded. Palestinians said a tank shell had hit a tent housing displaced families. The Israeli military said it was looking into the reported strikes on Mawasi and a separate incident in Gaza City. It said its forces were conducting precise intelligence-based actions in the Rafah area, where troops were involved in close-quarter combat and had located tunnels used by militants. Some residents said the Israeli onslaught on Rafah had intensified in the previous 2 days and that the sounds of explosions and gunfire had hardly stopped.
Swimming Association of the Maldives announces Mohammed An Hussein and Aishat Ulya Shaikh will represent the Maldives in the swimming events at the Olympic Games 2024.
The Swimming Association of Maldives announces Mohammed An Hussein and Aishat Ulya Shaikh will represent the Maldives in the swimming events of the Olympic Games 2024. The Swimming Association announced that the 2 opportunities given to the Maldives in swimming at the Olympic Games to be held in Paris, France, are opportunities from university places. It additionally disclosed the swimmers were selected to compete in the Olympics based on the highest world aquatic swimming points acquired in a specific competition organized by the World Aquatics. The rules and criteria for determining swimmers to compete in the Olympics are also determined by the World Aquatics. This year marks a historic milestone for the Maldives in the Olympic Games, which is slated to take place from July 26th to August 11th. While 4 athletes will represent the Maldives in the Olympics, they will compete in swimming events, badminton, athletics and table tennis. Abdullah Adam will represent the nation in athletics and is currently undertaking a training in Jamaica. Meanwhile, Fatmat Nabaha will be representing the Maldives in badminton. Moreover, this is the first time a Maldivian athlete qualified for the Olympic Games. The groundbreaking achievement was earned by the table tennis star Fatmat Dima Ali. Previously, Maldivian athletes competed in the Games in invitational tripartite opportunities provided. As such, Maldivian athletes have been actively participating and competing in athletics, badminton and swimming since 1988.
The Netherlands coach Ronald Koeman said Javier Simon's disallowed goal against France should have stood, but that a 0-0 draw in Leipzig was an unfair result.
One of the most anticipated matches of the group stage at Euro 2024 failed to live up to the expectations without the presence of Kylian Mbappe. The France captain set out the entire match from the bench after breaking his nose in Monday's 1-0 win over Austria. Les Bleus still enjoyed the better of the chances as Antoine Griezmann missed 2 great opportunities. But the biggest talking point came 18 minutes from time when Simons lashed in the rebound after Mike Maignan saved from Memphis Depay. After a lengthy delay for a VAR check, the goal was ruled out for offside as Denzel Dumfries was adjudged to be interfering with Maynard's ability to stop the shot. Dutch boss Ronald Koeman claimed the goal should have stood, but Didier Deschamps disagreed. A point edges both sides towards qualification for the last 16. The Netherlands remain top of Group D on 4 points ahead of France only on goals scored with 1 game remaining. Austria are third on 3 points after their 3-1 win over Poland, who are now eliminated. Deschamps conceded his decision may have been different for a knockout match, but is hopeful Mbappe can return for Tuesday's final group game against Poland.
A French-Chinese telescope satellite will blast off this weekend on a mission to hunt down gamma-ray bursts, the most powerful explosions in the universe.
The light from these blasts has traveled billions of light years to reach Earth, so scientists believe they could hold answers to some mysteries of the universe's youth. But these flashes are so brief they have proved difficult to observe. Aiming to learn more, the Space Variable Objects Monitor is scheduled to blast off on a Chinese Long March 2C rocket from the Xichang launch site in China's Sichuan province. The spacecraft, which has 2 Chinese and 2 French instruments on board, will then orbit 625 kilometers above Earth. Chen Lan, an analyst specializing in China's space program, highlighted the political significance of the joint mission. SVOM's mission is to use its X-ray vision to track down the source of gamma-ray bursts, which are detected in the sky around once every day. Bertrand Cordier, the chief scientist for France's contribution to SWORM, said that this cosmic investigation began back in the middle of the Cold War. In 1967, US satellites monitoring whether nations were complying with a nuclear test ban treaty happened to spot a brief flash of gamma rays, which can also be produced by nuclear blasts. Several missions, including NASA's SWIFT telescope, have already shed some light on these bright enigmas. Considered to be the most powerful events in the known universe, these bursts are flashes of the highest energy light, which emit gamma rays and last anywhere between a fraction of a second and tenths of seconds. Susanna Valgani of the Paris Observatory said that the explosion is followed by an afterglow which can last hours. She added that gamma-ray bursts allow scientists to investigate the distant universe, including the mysterious chemical process that birthed the first stars and galaxies. But the blasts could also hold other clues to long-burning cosmic mysteries. Valgani said because the light from these explosions traverses billions of light years, it bears the imprints of all the gas clouds it passed through. Scientists therefore hope gamma-ray bursts could reveal the chemical elements across the universe through its history.
That's all we have for you right now. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news updates. Have a good day. Goodbye.